So if you've been on the boards for any length of time, you've probably heard about dumping syndrome. This is just a very basic overview of what it is and what it's like. So dumping can happen a few different ways. Well, two different ways specifically. One is just throwing up. So if you eat something that your stomach does not like after bariatric weight loss surgery, your body's just going to eject it. So I personally do not dump that way. But I do dump the other way, and that is if you eat anything that your body doesn't like, and specifically things like high sugar items. I had one little cookie. I broke down. I had one little cookie. It was like this big. It was one of those mini cookies, and I thought, oh, it'll be fine. No, it wasn't. It hurt really bad actually in my stomach, and it just does not. Because I don't throw things up, my body just dumped it into my intestines, and then it just hurt in general. So then there was the consequences later. But the stomach is not going to take everything, and a lot of people develop food sensitivities, like can't eat chicken. I have a friend who had this surgery, and she cannot eat chicken. She gets foamies. So she says she can eat steak, but she can't eat chicken. For some people, they have really extreme levels of dumping on just about everything, and then they end up saying that they regret the surgery. And what I have to say to that is, oftentimes when asked if they're taking the medications that we were sent home with, they are not taking them. So the things like antacids and just digestive aids that they give us. They gave me at Mexico Bariatric, they gave us like a whole bag of stuff, and then we were advised that we could buy more at the pharmacy on our way home, and the van stopped at the pharmacy, and I spent like $60 on stuff that I'm not using. I personally don't have this problem. In fact, I would say that I have many friends who've had this surgery, and it was one of the reasons that I decided to get the surgery, was because I talked to them about it, and they said that like hardly any of them have really experienced this dumping syndrome. It seems to be with a few people, and a lot of times they're not taking the stuff that they were recommended to take. Now that's not always the case, but it is often the case. And so while I didn't need those things, a lot of people do. And so just to get your stomach ready, like some people just live off of the liquid antacid that they can take that is given to us, and I forget the name of it right now, but it's just like, it's kind of like Pepto-Bismol. Like, it's not that different. It's just a settler, it just helps your body settle that stuff. And also there was another pill that they were taking that was an antacid that just helps them keep their acid levels low, because some people would experience pain. Like, it wasn't necessarily dumping, but they had some pain, and they really just needed to control acids in their stomach. For me, I was really worried that I should have gotten the gastric bypass, because my friend got the gastric bypass, and the reason she got it was because she experiences a lot of acid in her stomach. So that surgery was better for her. I got the vertical sleeve, and what I will say about it is that I used to have like some antacid or some acid problems, and I would have to take Tums, and I will be honest, all that went away after I got surgery. So I was worried that I might have needed it, because I was never diagnosed with an issue, but I later on, while I was already booked, but I was kind of worrying, like, did I book the wrong thing? Like, maybe I should have gotten the bypass too. And there is a significant difference between sleeve and bypass. With bypass, you lose weight a lot faster and a lot better, and can keep it off better. But the problem is that you're doing it through malnutrition. So part of your intestine is removed, so you're not able to absorb all the nutrients of the food that you're eating. So I felt like after I've had the surgery and I've had time to think about it, I actually feel like I chose the better option for me. And that was because I also had the side effect of losing my acid issues that I was having. Like I never had acid issues until, like stomach acid issues, until I had my daughter, got pregnant with my daughter, and then I started to have heartburn like all the time. But I don't know that I actually ever developed acid reflux. I think things just started to bother me, you know, and hers, you know, I asked her, like, how often do you experience acid reflux? And she's like, all the time. And I'm like, okay, like, you know, with specific foods too. But hers seemed a lot more frequent than mine. So I went ahead and did the vertical sleeve, and yeah, I haven't had to take a Tums. I haven't, you know, and I'm only 3 weeks out from surgery, so keep that in mind. But I don't have any of that feeling anymore, and I love that for me. But not everybody experiences that, and some people have the acid, so they probably should get the gastric bypass instead of the sleeve like she did. But in other cases, you know, if they got a sleeve and they had acid reflux or developed acid reflux, they really need those medications to help them to be able to properly digest their food and to not have dumping syndrome and to be able to take in nutrients. Like, those things are really important. So oftentimes in the groups, I see people remind people, hey, are you taking these things? Because they gave them to you for a reason. And people are like, no, it doesn't really, you know, work for me. But those things are the things that changed or helped them. So other people went through that experience and said, hey, like, I had the same feelings, but I wasn't taking the stuff they gave me, and now I'm taking it, and it's a life change. It's a game changer. It's a life changer. So, you know, it just depends on the person. I think we can get really scared by a lot of the things that are being said in the groups. And I had the same experience, but I think it's actually less common. I just think that people talk about those things a lot in the groups. Like, other people are out living their best lives. You know, like, people got surgeries that didn't have issues. They're out living their best lives, and they're not in the groups, and they're not talking because they really had no issues. And I think that they account for like the vast majority of people who get this surgery. But there are, you know, certain groups of people who, I hate to say it, but they don't follow the instructions sometimes, and they're not eating the right things. You know, they gained all the weight back, but they're not eating the right stuff. You know, and they don't know their macros. Like, if you ask them, like, what are your macros? What are you taking in each day? Like, what's your caloric limit? Like, all that stuff. Are you exercising? They don't do that stuff. They don't talk about it, or they have an excuse why they don't do it. And I think that if you're going to get this surgery done, you really need to be prepared to take these steps, because the surgery doesn't fix it all. The surgery is just the tool. So just something to think about. But yeah, just take care of your body. Do all the things that you're asked to do. They may not taste good. I don't like them either, but we have to do them. And it's a matter of changing your whole life. So this is forever. This is to make your life better forever. Okay, thanks guys.